All right. Hello, everyone. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing well, and I hope you're staying positive and happy,
healthy during this
crazy time and during this stay at home and self quarantine.
I'm at home right now in Colorado.
I'm at home right now in Colorado, as you can see, with red rocks in the background.
Yeah, this would be my first podcast.
Yeah, this would be my first podcast. I'm not sure really what to call it.
It was originally going to be called.
It was originally going to be called the Living Color Podcast.
You know, I became aware of the
fact that there was already a show called In Living Color.
I'm really not sure what to call it.
I'm really not sure what to call it, and
still kind of rolling with the Living
Color Podcast. But
I'm just kind of
happy to have a podcast.
Or
anything really in general right now. So
yeah, I'm just trying to
stay focused and stay positive. I guess during this crazy time, this self quarantine. It's
something that we've never seen before.
I've certainly never seen anything like it. Obviously, being 26, about to be 27 in 2 months.
It's
I was even looking forward to working. at Red Rocks here.
Coming up next month, and
less than
a month away, and that's
not even.
That's obviously
long gone and
gone into
when,
probably June.
Who knows
July,
when? Probably June, July.
If they're even.
If we're lucky,
If we're lucky,
I wouldn't be surprised if there wasn't anything this year. To be honest with you,
there's no cure for it right now.
They're just telling you to stay at home and wash your hands and
Lysol and
sanitize everything. But
yeah, I don't know.
I just don't know
what the solution is, and I'd
hate to be the one to make the solution.
Or come up with a solution.
I'd like to be the one who make the solution.
I don't want to be the one that try to come.
Up with it right now, and
it's a scary time for everybody.
I think. I think you feel that with
just when you drive around.
Go to the grocery store, you can obviously see it with the empty shelves, and
like if you go to the cold and flu
section, you'll look around. The shelves are so empty that
you can't even tell.
You can't even tell what was in the shelves to begin with,
unless you look up at the
aisle marker. And
I don't even know what to make.
I don't even know what to make of this, because a month ago, you'd hardly heard about it. I mean, you might have heard about it on Twitter or something, through like a search, or
coming up in like
you might have saw like trending like in China like a month ago or something, and
now all of a sudden a month later
everything is shut down,
and
it's for the foreseeable future. I think.
I don't know how.
Businesses are gonna.
Recover. I don't know how.
Restaurants.
I'm
trying to support all the local restaurants I possibly can.
But at the same point, you gotta realize
you need every dollar that you
can get at this point.
And you can save at this point. And
it's a tough time for everyone.
It's a tough time for everyone. I'm fortunate to have
another job that's full time
and have some income coming in, and
even without the Red Rocks job,
as a part-time camera operator. So I'm fortunate with that, but even still, I have my own worries and my own concerns about everything.
I was even looking forward,
obviously, to Red Rocks coming back. Just having that extra bit of money coming in every 2 weeks is huge. Work a couple shows, and it's a lot of money.
That adds up every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks. So
just to have that not coming in for me,
I can't even imagine, let alone the people who are relying on that as their permanent, full time,
and their main source of income.
I can't even imagine.
And even just
looking up at Red Rocks up there now. I don't know if you can see.
Looks like the sun's going down, but
below the mountains. But
yeah, it's eerie.
It's eerie to see it now. There's no one up there. The parking lots are empty. Trails are empty.
And obviously, even
throughout the winter, it's usually
busy every day.
It's busy every day.
So it's something that I haven't seen. I've only been out in Colorado.
I've only been out in Colorado for
a year.
It's about to be a year, almost to the.
In about a month or so,
it'd be a full year, and
It's crazy to just see.
How much things have changed. And if you had told me,
this would have happened a year.
This would have happened a year out from moving,
away from everything I've known and my family and my friends and.
But to
if you had told me this
would have happened, would I have still
made the move?
I think I would have. I think I would have. Because Red Rocks last year was an incredible experience, working all those shows with so many great artists. But
this is obviously something that
no one could have ever seen coming.
And no
one did see coming, and no one was prepared for. And
I think it shows, our government
wasn't prepared clearly, and.
I think some of the stimulus.
To make up for their lack of preparedness is $1,200
direct payment to the U.S.
citizens. I think that
deal
has
with their lack of preparedness.
Really, but
I think it's a tough time.
I think it's a tough time
for everyone, and
I think
it's easy to say, stick together.
It's easy to say, stick together, but I think that's the key. Obviously, is you gotta stick together with everyone, and you gotta support everyone, no matter what.
And
it's time to.
It's like time to put differences aside.
It's like time to put differences aside almost, and
support
everyone and support whoever you can.
But obviously you gotta
support yourself first, no matter what. So
I hope you're doing well, and I hope you're healthy.
I hope you're doing well, and I hope you're healthy, and
trying to
be
positive and stay
positive.
I know I am, but I know
it's obviously tough every day, but
it's definitely easier.
I'd say with
that for sure.
With a view like that for sure. I don't know if you can still see Red Rocks out there, but
it's a wild time.
It's a wild time, and
I've been waiting to start this.
This podcast for months, if not years now. Went to school for
broadcast media.
Mass media
is my major.
Mass media is my major. I went to school at Castleton University in Vermont.
A small college in Castleton.
Vermont. Shout out to all you Castleton graduates out there. And
that's what I wanted to do was be.
Be on-air personality. Be like an anchor for a show. But I never was. There's like a certain mold you gotta. I feel like you gotta fit into.
Be an
anchor
and
be cut out for that.
I certainly wasn't.
I think I quickly realized that, like my freshman year of college. I was like, man, I don't know if I could
do this. Just being
assigned to try to
interview people and.
Like officials at the college, or
directors or
professors,
and it's like, I don't know
professors, and it's like, I don't know if this is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to almost just do my own thing, like
talk about what I want,
and
do what I want, but
I
didn't know a way, and there wasn't really
an outlet for it, and
Besides, one
of the main outlets was like with sports.
You can really
sports media, because you can really see it with like guys like Stuart Scott, rest in peace, and
all the sports
center anchors really. They all have like their certain catchphrases, and like Chris Berman, especially, he could go way, certain things like that.
They really
inject like their own personality into it. And I think it's
you can sort of do it.
You can sort of do it through news, but it's obviously tough because you're reporting on horrible stories half the time, more than half the time, and
so
I was just like, I quickly realized that I'm not cut out to be
an on-air anchor for
like a newscast.
So I
quickly got into production and
wanted to get into
directing more, and so eventually after years of kind of going through it and working at news stations as like in production,
a sports media company in
production, Northeast Sports Network, and
then also making music
as WDY, making electronic music, which stands for Woody.
Woodward, obviously.
My last name is Woodward, obviously, and
it's making music as WDY.
I think with all that, those years of experience, all that
culminated into the Red
Rocks job. And
so once I applied for that last
year and got the position, it was huge for me, and
I kind of just applied for him.
On a whim. I wasn't even sure if I was really gonna
get it. To be honest with you,
I was just kind of like, I have experience in video production, and
have experience in
concerts, obviously performing as WDY, and
opening for
so many different artists throughout the years, starting in 2011,
and all the way till
I'm still making music even to this day, obviously,
putting
and
out albums and
putting out albums
trying to play
and
shows,
trying to play shows, but
yeah, all that experience
led up
just
to me applying for the
led
Red
up to
Rocks
me
position
applying for the Red Rocks
and,
position
ultimately
and
getting it, and
ultimately getting it, and that's what I kind of had to.
that's
I was
what
living at home.
I kind of had to. I was living at home with my parents after
graduated in 2016. So yeah,
graduated in 2016. So yeah, 3 years living at home with my parents after college. And I was like, man,
it's coming up on 3 years. I was like,
it's coming up on 3 years. I was like, I'm about to be
26, living at home.
26, living at home.
And it's like what I need to make a change.
I need to make a change. And when I applied for that position, they were like, yeah,
2 sessions for
we have 2 sessions for an interview. We'd like to have you interview for
the positions.
One of the positions.
I've made the leap.
I made the jump last March. Like pretty much
almost a year
since I've been out here.
I think I got out here. It was like
late April.
And I started Red Rocks on May 1st.
And I started Red Rocks on May 1st, and
so I had
only
been there for a year, and
now it's
done for
however long, and
it just doesn't seem like there's
an end in sight to all this, really.
I don't know.
I don't know
what the solution is.
I don't know what the solution is, and
I just wish that
our leaders,
took it more seriously,
acted more seriously,
acted more seriously.
It
seems kind of like a clown show.
At this point.
It's not even at this point. It was a clown.
It's
show
not even
years
at this
ago.
point. It was a clown show years ago.
It's born to never.
Just born to never.
But at the same time.
I don't.
Who knows?
Who knows? How can you explain this to anybody?
It's tough.
It's tough.
It's tough for everybody, but
it's tough for everybody. But
I think there's certain ways that you can.
I think there's certain ways that you can look at it too. You gotta
we're down.
Look at this like we're down right now. But
how can you bounce back?
How can you bounce back?
What are the ways you can?
Improve yourself
and what you're doing and
improve what you're doing
right now?
Is it right now? I guess you could look at it like, is what you're doing actually what you want to be doing?
For me, this is even like my
first podcast. You've already seen like we've cut out once already, and
I'm gonna have
troubles in the beginning, and this is just the beginning.
I hope this is the first of
however many hundreds. I hope but.
You're gonna have problems no matter what.
You're gonna have problems no matter what you're trying to do.
You're trying to accomplish.
No matter what you're trying to accomplish, and
I think that is important.
To
just stay focused and
kind of maintain, and
no matter what
happens. So.
Those are kind of my thoughts for it.
I
also kind of wanted to.
Share a quick story, if I could,
about working at Red Rocks.
And one of the better times,
and more memorable
moments.
Something I
will never forget the rest of my life.
And it kind of came at a weird time for me.
It kind of came at a weird time for me
because I'd only been working there for
2 months. 2.5 months. I'd only been out in Colorado for 2.5 months.
I didn't know anybody, and
like I said, I was working at Red Rocks part-time
as a camera operator,
working the shows, and so I
had to get a second job at
the golf course,
working course maintenance.
At
a fossil trace in Golden.
At a fossil trace in Golden, which is not far from here.
Colorado,
in Golden, Colorado,
great golf course.
Which is a great golf course.
I have nothing bad to say about.
The course or the people there. Or anything like that.
It was just
obviously not my crowd. It was a lot of older people working there, and I wasn't making any friends and meeting any people, and
it's kind of keeping to myself.
And
working there in the
mornings.
And from 5 to
whatever 1:30
and
coming coming home,
working at Red Rocks,
and then working at Red Rocks sometimes at night, every other night, pretty much.
And I just wasn't really meeting anybody.
And I was kind of getting, I was down at points, obviously, because you're like, I thought it'd be easier to make friends, and
it was easier back home.
It was easier back home, obviously, when you know people and you're getting introduced to people, and that's how it's easy to make friends that way. But when you're in a new place, you're like,
where am I at?
Where am I at? You're just kind of
discovering new things and
putting
yourself out of your comfort zone,
which is important, obviously.
So I was 2 months on the job at Red Rocks.
Red Rocks, and I was just working one of these shows. I think it was NACO and Medicine for the People
in Trevor Hall.
I think it was a weekend show. It had to have been.
And it's kind of like
I was obviously in
grind it
mode where I'm just doing a show. It's just another show for me, and
I think I started the
night. There's like 4 camera positions at Red Rocks.
For those that know. I was on the front.
There's like 2 in the front. Near the stage, and 2 in what they call the
not like the pit area, but
we're like the sound engineers are, the audio boards are, the light crew, all that, and there's 2 camera positions there too, and we also have like a control room, the directors are and all that, and the shader it's another position.
So I was on one of the cameras.
There,
and
it's also like a VIP section. It's also like a VIP section,
which is kind of like right
in front of where the audio mixers and the audio engineers are.
There's like a little
the light crew is. There's like a little VIP section, like 8 rows or so.
And next to the
VIP section, there's
2 camera positions.
Like 2 camera positions, and I was on one of those positions to start. I believe I was actually on front of the stage camera position to start. And then for the second
opener, I believe it was Trevor Hall.
And I was
one of the camera
positions near like the VIP section.
And I was just obviously in
the zone,
already in my shift,
and
I believe it was at this point
where I
gotten
just
to the camera
because I usually between sets there's usually like 30 minutes for like a changeover between acts where like the crew comes on, they switch the band's equipment.
During this time I switched
camera positions because we usually rotate with the crew.
And I was going to my different camera position.
At this point. I was already like a couple minutes had passed.
There was like a little stool right next to my camera.
And
so I just was chilling on my stool.
And
I just saw like a group of people walk
towards
like
the VIP section.
And
I kind of
knew that the set was starting soon.
That the next band set was starting soon. Trevor Hall's. And
I usually
saw like the crowd kind of come in. I was like,
happening?
What's happening? And then I saw this guy in the gray sweatshirt,
and obviously
with a hat, and obviously instantly I recognized him.
And it was Aaron Rodgers.
Of the Green Bay Packers.
And I'm from Vermont.
Vermont. Okay.
You don't just see Aaron
Rodgers every day.
You don't see
anybody like that any day.
So I instantly recognized him after
obviously you haven't watched him for years
on TV playing football.
Obviously for the Packers dominating the NFL. And
I was kind of
like holy shit.
I kind of like
jumped. I was like
super
reactive to it.
It's like I couldn't believe it.
And all of a sudden I saw Danica Patrick
kind of right behind him,
and then
it hit me. I was like,
that's right, there are a couple, Danica and Aaron.
That's right, Aaron Rodgers.
I was like, that's right, Aaron Rodgers and Danica Patrick.
It was mind blowing for me.
And I just kind of was nervous myself because they're from me to
5 feet,
not even 5 feet away.
And they just sat down.
Where the seats would be. There's not like
it's not actual like seating like this.
Kind of like benches. You know,
like rows of benches.
like rows.
If you've been to Red Rocks, like
if you've been to Red Rocks, like you obviously know.
So I was just kind of
I was just kind of like nervous for like the first minute or so, and then all of a sudden like there was like a little kid, and I kind of just stopped and was
I was gonna try to like
I was gonna try to like sneak like a photo or something, share it on social media. Like a little kid kind of came up to me because I think he noticed too, and he was like, "Hey, can you try to get his autograph for me?" And I kind of was like, "No," I was like, "No, man, I don't think he wants to be bothered, and I'm not like the one to bother." Okay, like I'm from Vermont.
I don't know anything.
I'm from Vermont. I don't know anything
about how to be like.
I wouldn't even know how to be like, "Hey,
can you
Aaron, can you
this isn't my time. This isn't my time. This is my place, kid."
And
so like obviously.
Stunned, but I'm just kind of stunned, but it kind of wears off. Just
the show starts minutes later.
The show starts minutes later.
The Trevor Hall show and
I
eventually met him.
I eventually met him, but one of the
reasons or the moments
that I knew that I could
talk to him after
like go up and talk to him after a Trevor Hall set
was there was like a moment during the show.
There was like a moment during the show where
like there was this phone.
Like there was this phone that was kind of a few rows in front of the VIP section.
There was this guy FaceTiming.
There was this guy FaceTiming his friend.
Like a moment, or like during
during a song during the show, during the Trevor Hall set, and
you can just tell like his friend was like.
You could just tell like his friend was like bopping his head. He was kind of loving it. I just happened to notice it because it was right in front of me. I'm like facing,
kind of like right off to the side.
It's kind of like right off to the side here.
And I just kind of like.
Zoomed in my camera. Zoomed in my camera.
Zoomed in on the screen, and
the director eventually took the shot
on the big screen, so the whole crowd.
On the big screen, so the whole crowd could see 10,000 people. Sold out show.
And I think once the crowd realized
what was happening, they started going wild. They started like
erupting like
loving it.
And I was
laughing, and all of a sudden, like the guy kind of noticed that he was on the screen, and he started like kind of jumping up and down, like being like, "Oh, we're on the screen," like going wild.
So I was, I'm trying to
keep up with him.
The director takes this different camera,
and
I look down.
Like
5 feet from me. Because Aaron's like 5 feet from me down here, just
and
he's
chilling.
Like he's like looking up.
And he's like looking up. And he like gives me like a thumbs up, and he's like laughing like hell yeah.
And I was just like,
I just kind of like
the only thing I was just like. I think that's what I did. I can't remember.
I can't remember what I did. It was something dumb, obviously.
I was just kind of
that's every day. I do this. That's every day. I do this. This is what I do. This is what I do.
Yeah, it was just. I was just kind of like, holy shit.
Aaron Rodgers just gave me like the thumbs up for doing that.
And so the Trevor Hall.
set, obviously, the show goes on, and
so at the end of the set,
the whole
crew or posse there.
Aaron
kind of like gets up and
goes off to the side, and I think he's like waiting for Danica and the rest of the
squad
to catch up, and he's just kind of chilling off to the side, and the set's over, so I have nowhere to go. I have to go to my next camera position, and
I noticed
Aaron's just by himself.
He's just by himself.
He's just by himself.
Standing there. I think
he's just standing there. I think he's just waiting for the rest of the
catch up.
The crew to catch up.
And there's no way.
So I'm like, there's no way I'm not gonna say hello
to him, shake his hand,
or like just shake his hand, or just anything. It seems crazy now to think.
Be like, I'm shaking Aaron Rodgers' hand.
But
I had no choice.
I had no choice. There was no option.
There really was no option.
There really was no option.
I had to do it, and I
had to do it, and I just shook his hand. I was like, dude.
I just went up to him, shook his hand.
I was like, dude, you're a legend. Like that's all I could think to say. I was just like, you're a legend.
Like you're great.
Blah blah blah. And he's just like, thanks, man.
Blah blah blah. And he's just like, thanks, man. I was like, it's nice.
It's great to meet you, and
appreciate you giving me thumbs up.
Appreciate you giving me thumbs up. Blah blah blah. And I was like.
Obviously did the fanboy thing.
Right? I didn't know if it was right. It felt right because he kind of received me well. He was like, oh, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Blah blah blah.
So I was like, can I get
a picture with you now? And he was just like, no,
I'm about to go to the bathroom.
I'm about to go to the bathroom, and maybe after.
So I was like,
okay,
that's all right.
Maybe
sounds good to me.
Maybe,
but sounds good to me.
And so I just do my own thing, keep going, and go to my next camera position. And I think I eventually saw on my way to my next camera position. I went to like in the control room, and from there, I'm trying to remember if it was. Either way, I remember I ran into him in the tunnel at one point. There's like the famous Red Rocks tunnel. Or like outside of the tunnel. Like at the bottom of it. If you've seen it before, it goes up like into where the control room is, and where the audio engineers and all that. In the VIP section. It leads to that. So he was sort of like the entrance to it. Like the entrance to it.
The security there wouldn't let him up.
I think he had like a drink or something. Like, he was like maybe like a beverage or something. Adult beverage, some sort of thing. Excuse me. And he had some sort of drink.
And they apparently wouldn't let him up.
And there was only like a few of them. I don't think. I think maybe. It was like 5 or 6 of them. Maybe like 5 or 6 of them.
I think they each had drinks.
And I think they each had drinks, and the security
lady, she just wouldn't let him up.
And I was like, you know, that's Aaron Rodgers, right?
Just because he has a drink, you're not
gonna let him up. You're not gonna let him up. And he's like.
It was just kind of like another
bonding instance, I guess. Where he was like, oh yeah.
I don't know what he thought.
I don't know what he thought, but.
I think it was just kind of like.
I
was trying to help him.
I was like, man, I was trying to help him
in any way that I could.
If I ever would, or if I ever.
Whatever the
saying would be, if I ever could. I guess.
I was trying to
help him get up to the tunnel. I
guess.
I don't know why.
Just for having a drink, but either way.
Just for having a drink, but either way.
So. From there, I don't think I saw him like the rest
of the night until towards the end.
During like the knack on the medicine for the people set, which was like the headliner. I was in the
shader position, which is in the control room,
which is like
at Red Rocks, which is like next to the director.
It's just like you have like a couple.
And it's just like you have like a couple little. It's like you're just balancing the brightness of the cameras. It's like you have a few like different like control pads,
control knobs in front of you.
And I think they're like black magic or something like that.
Don't quote me on that.
On that, but
you have like a couple different. Little switchers to work with.
Control like the brightness of the cameras. And I was on the switcher position.
So once the
set ended, I was like, man, it's such a bummer that I didn't get a picture with Aaron. But
maybe people will believe me.
Maybe people will believe me. That I shook his hand and told him that he's a legend and all that. And to leave the VIP section, you obviously have to go back down through, past the control room, and then out down towards the down the tunnel,
wherever,
and then out towards wherever,
the backstage area,
and all the rooms.
The green rooms.
And
I was leaving the.
I was leaving the control room, and I just saw the huge,
crowd of
people leaving the VIP area.
And then all of a sudden I saw.
Danica.
She was like.
I saw Danica. She was like the third or fourth person.
And then she was like.
The train's coming through or something like that. And I was just like, that was like the first time she had seen that I was saying hi to Aaron before.
I was like telling him he's a legend.
I was like telling him he's a legend earlier tonight and shaking his hand. That
was like the first time I had talked to her.
I really got the impression that she is intense, and it's crazy that was my impression. And her podcast is called Pretty Intense, I believe.
I thought that she was super
cool and super nice.
That's really all she.
She was like, yeah, the train's coming through.
That's all good.
I was like, it's all good.
I didn't really see Aaron, and then
right,
he was kind of like one of the last people.
He was kind of like one of the last people in the whole crew to
come through the doorway, and all of a sudden
he came through and he was like, hey man, did we get that picture yet?
I was like, nah, but
and I was like, nah, but it's all good. And he was like, no, let's get a couple real quick. And I was kind of like,
okay,
okay. I was like, all right.
Stunned.
stunned, and
I think I asked.
I don't know if I asked Danica. I don't believe I did. But it was somebody in that crew because she was kind of like, what's going on?
I was I was like, hey, can you take this? Can you take the picture? And
Aaron was like, no, man, get a selfie.
I never take selfies.
I never take selfies. I don't know if I've ever taken a selfie before.
And I was just kind of,
I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, snapped a couple.
Snapped a couple.
And, kept going.
Kept going. Like, as quickly as possible.
And
it turned out.
And then,
tremendous. And then, from there, I was just like, once again,
all the accolades, you're a legend.
All the accolades, you're a legend.
I'll never forget the throw against Detroit.
I'll never forget the throw against Detroit, or
the throw against Chicago in the playoffs,
or to get to the play,
all these memorable moments.
And the one against Detroit,
and the one against Detroit,
or in the Cowboys in the playoffs.
On these, just like, I won't either.
But
the impression that I got from him
is that he is incredibly cool,
incredibly nice,
incredibly friendly.
You would
something
never expect from someone you would never expect from
someone at his level.
And
it really taught me that he really is like a normal person.
But he's a tremendous talent.
Tremendous talent, obviously.
So it kind of gave me hope that.
Like the saying where it's like you're not.
supposed to meet your heroes,
people you look up to, but people you look up to, but maybe you are.
I've had some instances
as WDY where
people,
I've met people
where they haven't always,
like said hello.
Not to say
that you're supposed to say hello to your openers, really, or anything like that. But they haven't even,
looked my way when they walked by
my dressing room or anything like that.
So to see that
to see that kind of
I guess
respect and
kindness,
coming from someone from that walk of life, was incredible and
it made my day.
It made my day, especially in like the time that I was at too. Just thinking about it, just being,
just not knowing anybody.
Not knowing anybody and not really
having any
new friends out here to talk to or hang with, or
even still, it's still.
I still have trouble
meeting friends and
meeting friends and meeting new people.
It's not easy.
It's not easy. I don't think it's easy for anyone.
And especially now.
In this time. But
you just gotta
keep going and keep being positive.
I think there's certain ways that we could
take advantage of this time.
I think this is like a certain
time.
Like Joey Diaz.
I listen to like Joey Diaz.
Who's a comedian.
Who's a comedian, a hilarious comedian. One of the best around, best on the planet. One of the best.
He even was saying,
this is a time to
invest in yourself.
Invest in yourself.
Do what you always wanted to do.
Write down your goals and
refocus yourself.
And,
I think that's super important.
That's a super important message, and that's exactly what you should be doing in this time. If you're healthy,
it's easy to
worry about
how people are doing.
You're
not around right now.
Who are living far away from where you might be, but
at the same time, you do have to.
Man,
I can't do
be
this.
like, look, man, I can't do this.
I can't worry every second.
Every second, every day.
I need to. At a certain point,
At a certain point, I need to.
I did need to.
Get my own things together.
So that's why I think I'm gonna try to do.
Try to do during this time, and
that's what I've been trying to do.
The past couple days.
I think even just starting this.
First podcast. This is exactly what I've been trying to do for years.
And to finally have
it in the books, and
it's big. I'm trying to do.
It's big. I'm trying to do
things with this podcast.
So many things with this podcast. I'm trying to talk about entertainment. Sports,
culture, music,
what's happening in the world. This
isn't really how I wanted to start my first podcast,
or
the time that I wanted to start.
Start my first podcast, but
at the same time,
it's now or never. And
I think it was easy for me.
I think it was easy for me, and it's probably easy for you out there and for many others.
Just fall in the funk where
you're like, I'll do it next week. I'll get it started eventually.
I need certain things to get it started.
I need certain things to get it started. I need lights. I need certain,
you don't need any of that.
You don't need any of that.
You just need certain things.
You need certain things. You need like the essentials. You need the basics.
You just need the will, and
you just need the will and like the desire and
the creativity.
The creativity and
you need all
inspiration.
Of
you need all of it. You need all of it to do it. And
it was big to try to get this started. And I don't really. There's no guidelines for it.
There's no guidelines for it. I'm gonna swear.
I'm gonna
say stuff off the top of my
head.
Be funny. I'm gonna try to be funny. It's not always gonna work out.
I'm gonna say how I feel.
I'm gonna say how I feel.
That's kind of the whole point of the podcast. I'm just trying to finally do what I want to do.
Right now it's not about. Right now it's not about gaining
anything.
It's
really just about.
doing what I've always wanted to do.
And finally getting it started.
I think as you can talk about it.
But
eventually you gotta do it. Eventually you gotta do it. And
it's about time that I finally
dove in and jumped into the murky waters.
As Joey would say, Joey Diaz.
So, yeah, man. I would love to. I would love to talk about
sports and all that, but
I don't even know when anything like that is coming back.
You can see Red Rocks.
You can see Red Rocks in the background.
This is where I'm living.
This is where I'm living right now.
This is what I moved out here for.
This is what I moved out here for, and now it's
nothing.
There's nothing happening.
And it's gonna be like this, I think. For
months. For months.
I hate to say it, but
I hate to say it, but
I really do.
And I've said
times already. I don't know
numerous times already. I don't know what the solution is. I hate to be the one to
people look to come up with.
To come up with a solution.
It's
a wild time. It's a wild time. And when I listen to First Take and all that on ESPN, and they're like, can the NBA regular season come back? It's like I don't think so. I don't think so.
I mean, I don't think any sports are coming.
I don't think any sports are coming back. Any sports are coming back this year.
I don't know if any concerts.
I don't know if any concerts are coming back.
This might be a time where
you just shut everything down.
I mean, everything's shut down now. But
everything's shut down now, but you might just shut it down for the year.
It's like maybe September.
It's like September. Maybe September.
July, August,
September.
And then you just hear Trump say that
his goal is Easter.
And you're like,
Easter,
dude. Not even close.
Not even close, man.
Easter. If anything, it's gonna be
worse by Easter, man.
But at the same time,
you gotta.
We all realize restaurants and businesses.
Everything
can't be shut down.
Everything can't be shut down forever.
But health is way more.
Health is way more important. Honestly,
health is everything. And then you just hear people like that.
Lieutenant Governor in Texas, where he's saying that
I can't eat. Who knows?
Who knows? Whatever he was saying. Old folks are
willing to die for.
The economy, or
paraphrasing, obviously.
Something to that effect, and you're just like, I don't know.
Things do need to start.
Things do need to start back up
for the next.
But not for the next. Month.
Already we're looking at May. easy.
Like
maybe,
you know.
I'm not even obviously
I'm not even obviously a health expert. I'm just a random
joker, as I'd say.
Local joker, as I'd say.
So.
But yeah, man, I just wanted to start the first podcast and
you know, like I said, there's no guidelines to this. There's no parameters. This is just me sitting here on my deck
in Colorado.
You know, talking about what I want to talk about, and you know, doing what I want to do.
Finally, and
enjoy it.
I hope that you enjoy it. And I hope you stay positive and I hope that I can sort of give you some sort of entertainment. You know,
because I have stories
obviously for years,
and that's what I'm gonna eventually get to.
And that's what I'm gonna eventually get to.
But
I just think, right now, it's like
it was time for me to start this.
It was time for me to start this and just say hello and
check in on everyone and
see how everyone is doing. And that's sort of it, man. That's it, man. That's it, and that's that. You know, I hope you're doing well.
I hope you stay positive.
I hope you take advantage of this time off and this self-quarantine, this stay at home. I hope you use it to your full advantage, and I hope that you can,
do what you want to do.
Because I certainly am trying to. And
you can like it, and
you don't have to like it.
This is just me.
This is just what I've wanted to do for a long time.
And obviously,
like I keep saying, this setup is
not the
setup
that I want right now. But
the setup that I want right now. But this is pretty dang good as it is. I mean, look at this.
You
can't really beat this view.
But I'd like to enjoy it.
I'd like to enjoy it. And I hope we can all sort of,
stay inside. And
self-quarantine and
get back to. I don't know if we'll ever get back to normal. But I think this is going to be.
This is going to be the new normal.
And
I
don't think there's anything
wrong with
when we get back, just we're gonna be better. We're gonna be better off for it.
People who survive, and
we're all gonna.
Hopefully,
if you're listening, hopefully,
we're gonna get through this.
We're gonna get through this, and we're gonna get better,
and we're gonna be better for it. We're gonna get through something that,
no one's ever really gone through. Seen something like this. Not since
1919. Spanish flu.
1920. Like it's
1920. This is unprecedented times. So
I hope that you take care of yourself.
You take care of yourself, and I hope that
doing well, and I hope
you're doing well, and I hope you're
positive,
happy and positive, and
looking after everyone.
Thank you for listening, and
take care of yourself.
Until next time.
Sign off.
Don't stop.